everyone? It is your girl, Rene, right here on Plus News, and it is Activism across the nation. I hope that you are doing well. As you can see, it is Sunday again. It's not a Friday. We usually do the show on Friday, but we had to do it today. Sometimes you got to switch it up. So that's what happened. But this evening, we have someone here, a guest that is going to tell us about something that's going on in Cleveland, Mississippi. Okay, I didn't even know there was a Cleveland, Mississippi, but there is. There seems to be some injustice that's going on there with a civilian down there, a citizen down there, and his niece is here. She's going to be telling us more about it. Her name is Sharita Brown. We're very happy to have her to, talk about what's going on with her uncle. Her uncle's name is Antonio Hollingsworth. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit more about that. But hello, if this is your first time here, I am Rene, and this is Plus News with Activism across the nation. This is a platform where it's for activists, okay? For activists, those in social justice, those that want to know what's going on. This is a platform for us where we talk about different things that are going on that we can get involved with, different things that we might need to know, tips for us and things like that. So I definitely appreciate you. Please make sure that you add this platform right here so that you can catch me again the next time I'm here, along with the other shows that we have. We be having seminars and all types of stuff. So you definitely want to make sure that you're connecting with us. And you can add me too, all right, at The J Rene. You can add me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Go to The J Rene just like that, as you see on the bottom of the screen, and you will be able to connect with me. For those of y'all, you've been here before, hey, welcome back. I'm glad that you made it back. I appreciate you very much in the fights that you're doing and the endeavors. We got to make sure that we're sticking together and we're uplifting ourselves and taking care of each other, right? Because doing this type of work is a hard task, okay? It's definitely not for the weak. It can be hard on the mind, body, and spirit. So we want to make sure that we're taking care of each other. So that goes right into my tip for the week. I like to give y'all tips on how we can do what we're doing better and how we can take care of each other. So that's what I'm saying. Make sure we're taking care of each other. Reach out and check on your fellow activists, those that are in the social fight. Reach out and say, hey, how you doing? How you feeling? How you been? If you notice a difference in their pattern, and make sure that we're also encouraging self-love and healing to ourselves. Make sure that we're reminding each other to take time off, because as many of us know, when we be in this fight, we be on go mode, but you got to make sure that you pace yourself and you place yourself. That way you don't burn out. So that's my tip for the week. Make sure that we're taking care of each other. Check on your teammates. Check on your comrade. Check on your brother and sisters. You never know. Just asking how they're doing, it can go a long way, So just take care of each other. So, of course, we're going to talk about who to add. All right. So besides adding, of course, the National Plus Coalition and, the Plus Productions and myself, we have State versus Us. Okay, State versus Us is a magazine, all right, that highlight the high-profile cases that are going on of the wrongfully convicted, corruptions in the prison system, overcharging and things like that. All right, this is definitely one that activists and social justice seekers should add, especially those that are interested in prison reform and things like that. You can add on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. You can see right there to the right on the banner where you can add. Or if you have a story to tell, if there's something going on and you're trying to get exposure to your case or exposure to your loved one, you definitely want to reach out to State versus Us Mag. They are a voice for the voiceless. Next, we have the San Francisco Bayview. All right, this is the national Black newspaper out of California. She does have a live show that she do every day. I think it's Monday through Friday. It says 9, but that is 12 Eastern time. That's 9 Pacific time. You definitely want to tap into that in the morning if you are into prison reform, if you're into abolishment of prison, if you're into human rights, social rights, and things like that. This is definitely something for you, a platform that you definitely want to tap into. You can reach them and connect with them on Instagram and Twitter at the San Francisco Bayview. So it's SF Bayview, and you'll be able to connect with them. Well, that's okay. We missed that last slide, but that's all right. Let's get right into this. All right, so this is the gentleman that I was talking about. I have his niece here, Sharita Brown. I'm going to bring her to the forefront very shortly, but this is her uncle, okay? His name is Antonio Hollingsworth, and they're from Cleveland, Mississippi. I didn't know Cleveland, Mississippi existed, but it does. And it seems that they have some issues there when it comes to race relations and how things go down in that area. So we're going to bring his niece on so she can tell you more about what's going on down there and what's going on with her uncle, that, she wanted us to get more involved in telling what's going on with him. Remember, we have to make sure that we're spreading the word of things that are going on, right? That's how we get more support. That's how we get more help. That's how we amplify our voices. So let me bring her on up on the screen. Hello there. Hi,
Hello.
Sharita. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you so much for coming. I gave an introduction of your uncle. I don't know him personally, but I know that you know him best. So, can you tell us the type of man that your uncle is, and, just how, who is he as a person?
Yes, ma'am. Well, first, I want to say thank you for having me on and being able to shed this light. So, thank you. Thanks to the Plus community and the Plus family, and everyone who's been so involved in this case, who's taking their time and their resources to do research. So, I just really want to say thank you. As for my uncle, he is a human. Okay. And one of the most joyful humans that I know. He's always happy. He's always with a smile on his face. He loves to live life. You know, he's just someone who will give you the shirt off of his back. You know what I'm saying? He's a
Mhm.
firm believer in God. But just like all of us, he's human and he has a past, and we all have a past. But when it comes to that, we have to be able to set people away from their past and look at them as a person.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree 100%. So I know this is a distressing image on the screen. When I saw it, I was highly offended and distressed by it. I can only imagine how you feel as this being your family member. It must impact you even more so. Can you explain to the people exactly what happened with your uncle on this day for him to be assaulted and accosted in such this way?
Yes, ma'am. The picture horrified me to the
Mm-mm.
point where I cried and I cried and I cried because I had no way out. Like I didn't know what to do. A lot of my family members were sending me the picture and I went to sleep on it and I cried and I woke up and I cried and I posted it on Facebook because like I had to get it out some kind of way and I wanted to see something done about it. Antonio's account of the story is he was walking from the Arab store in Cleveland, Mississippi, which is directly next to the Napa store. And in between the Napa store and the Arab store is a garage that the Napa store owns. And so when you're walking from the Arab store, you have to come around the corner. We from Cleveland, Mississippi. I live in Tennessee now, but I'm from Cleveland, Mississippi. I lived there most of my life. When you're walking around, you have to walk around the gate. We walk everywhere we go mainly. And
Right.
so he was walking from the Arab store, coming around the gate, and he was headed toward the KFC to go to the neighborhood behind the KFC. Well, as he was walking, because the KFC is on the other side of the Napa store. So I would
Okay.
say you have the Arab store, the garage. All right, let's do it this way. Okay. So you have the Arab store, the garage, the Napa store, and then the KFC.
Okay.
So he was walking from the Arab store, coming around the fence, walking through walking from the Arab store, coming around the fence, walking like adjacent from the Napa store, nowhere near the store. He was closer to the highway and he was going toward the KFC when one of the gentlemen called him over. When the gentleman called him over, he said, "Is your name Isaiah or
Mhm.
Isaac?" And he
Okay.
hit him. As
So
my
did
uncle was
your
saying,
uncle say he didn't know these guys? Did he know them?
no, he doesn't know them. Like
Okay.
that they're the owner of the stores.
Okay.
He doesn't personally know them.
Okay.
So, and he was like, no, but before he can get the no out, like one of them hit him and they just kept hitting him. And he said, one of them put him in a chokehold or something like that. And one of them hit him with something so bad it knocked him out cold. And the
Wow.
next thing you knew, he woke up in the garage. He doesn't know how long he was in the garage. We don't know. But we're hoping to find it out. We're hoping that once all the pieces are put together, this story will be framed from point A to point Z, and we will have all the details and all the facts. With him having such trauma and head injury, we we're hoping that this story, you know, is going to be one to show the world that it's not
Mhm.
okay to treat people less than human. And so, what we want to do is bring awareness to the situation. Antonio said once he woke up, all he remembers is a police pulling up. And then by the time the police was pulling up, some guys were taking him outside and thumping him on the truck and
Mhm.
yelling, "I'll kill you, nigger! I'll kill you, nigger!" Excuse my language, and I don't like to say that word, but I'm just,
Right. I understand.
saying exactly what they said. And he was like, "I'll kill you, nigger! I'll kill you, nigger!" And so, he said that the white policeman told the black policeman not to arrest the white man, but to arrest Antonio. And it was horrible, and that happened April the 1st, a Friday, 2021 of this year. And so, we have been in the fight, since I received the pictures on Saturday. Antonio went to Bolivar Medical Center, um, which is the hospital in Cleveland, Mississippi. When he was at Bolivar Medical Center, he had on handcuffs, but when the doctor or the nurse told him and the person who had him, handcuffed, the investigator, they said that they didn't have the resources to fix his eyes, and so they were going to send him to Jackson. So, he said that the investigator just took the handcuffs off and walked out the room. Didn't say He said he called his supervisor. Once he got off the phone with his supervisor, he just left out of the room. Like, he didn't tell Antonio nothing. He didn't say nothing. He just left out of the room. So Antonio was transferred to Jackson, Mississippi, to the University of Mississippi Hospital. And when he got back home, this was the same. He had to ride a Greyhound back home. When he got back home to Cleveland, Mississippi, which is 2 hours away from Jackson, there was a search warrant on his door, and police went in and searched his door, searched his hotel room
Okay.
without, like they were looking for guns. But we're saying, if he stole guns, didn't you just have him in handcuffs?
Right.
Like, so it's just a system that is oppression and suppression to people of our color and our kind. And I'm not a racist. I love all people, but we're gonna call a cat a cat. We're gonna call a duck a duck. You know. So
Mhm.
why would they arrest Antonio? Why would they not arrest the other man? After Antonio told them, and Antonio quote said, "I didn't do nothing. Why y'all arresting me? They the ones who attacked me."
Mhm.
And it's sad to look at this picture and know that he went through that. We don't have no clue how long he was in that garage or what all they did to him. It just brings
Mhm.
back Emmett Till memories when they, kidnapped him in the middle of the night and took him to the barn, and his mother found him dead in the I mean, they found him dead in the river. Well, his
Right.
mother didn't, but people.
I know
So
what
it
you,
it's
yeah.
it's so sad, and we're just fighting for justice. We're fighting for the truth to come out, because now Antonio is in jail. They won't give him any medical attention or anything. It's sad. It's just the state of Mississippi has to do better with taking care of all people, and they have to do better with um being what they need to be to the people. They have to do better taking care of all people, being in the neighborhoods, taking care of crime, handling crime, being non-biased.
Mhm. Yeah, that's the part. That's the part that we're working on, Queen, for sure. I want to talk a little bit more about his injuries. You were saying that he's having a particular issue with his eyes,
Yeah,
with one of
so
his eyes.
I want to say, was it Thursday he woke up and he couldn't see out of his right eye. We were calling the jail, they would not answer. We were calling again, they would not answer. We were the Bolivar County Correction Facility, Sheriff Kevin Williams, Sheriff Carter, Sheriff Gerald Wesley. Gerald Wesley told them yesterday, do not call the ambulance for Antonio. And his eye is green. He cannot see out of it. Now he's having head pains. a bloody nose, and he states he cannot breathe. And when he's told me he can't breathe, it just literally my stomach fell in my gut, because it just brought back memories of George Floyd and I can't breathe. Like, it's crazy.
Wow. I don't even know what to say. I can
Yeah.
only imagine the type of pain that he's in.
Yeah,
With
and he said that the doctor, he's supposed to see a specialist once he left um the University of Mississippi. The doctor recommended for him to see a specialist. His sisters, if I'm not mistaken, went to take the paperwork up to the jailhouse, and yet they still, because he has broken bones and fracture. And he told me that the doctor in Jackson said he would have trouble breathing because of the way his eyes are now in the back of his head, and his bones are broken. Like, he would have trouble with his nasal passage and thing. And he went to see the nurse. Like, after I called like Thursday so many times, they took him to see the nurse. The nurse only gave him Tylenol, antibiotic ointment, and a towel to put on his eye. To a man who woke up and cannot see, you gonna give him some antibiotic ointment? You're gonna give him
wow.
some Tylenol? You're gonna give him a towel? How about taking him to an eye doctor? Okay, it's ridiculous.
So so your loved one, I want to make sure that everybody understand this clear. Not only is he suffering in pain, probably a possible infection, having issues breathing, they aren't tending to him medically correctly, right?
Correct. Yes.
And so what are they saying when it comes in terms of medical care?
I told you what they just said yesterday. They said, do not call the ambulance for Antonio Hollingsworth. The jailman at the jail called the sheriff, Gerald Wesley. He said, do not call the ambulance for Antonio Hollingsworth. I told you what the nurse gave him. They won't, and the head sheriff won't answer the phone. So we're not getting anywhere with them.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure that people understand that, because it can be hard to understand that other humans do treat other humans this way, but they definitely do. And I know when you were telling the story about them calling him a nigger, is this something that is, that happens in this town? Like, tell us a little bit more about Cleveland, Mississippi.
So in Cleveland, Mississippi, there's a train track, correct? And it divides the sides of the town. One side is predominantly black, and the other side is predominantly Caucasian. Um, all black kids went to one school, all white kids went to one school, the majority, until 2016, when desegregation by law of schools had to happen, which they were fighting for years. So there's a culture, where one side is known for one side is known for not being up upstanding citizens, where the other
Okay.
side is treated like heaven.
Okay. Okay. Very prominent. I know that I had heard a story of some children that ended up in a situation to where they were zip tied. Do you know anything about that?
Yeah, so the same gentleman who did this to Antonio a couple months ago, the mother stated that it was a mother and an aunt, stated that these same men, because her nephew and her son, it was three teenagers, one was only 12, walking across the same auto parts store. They shot at them, they captured them, they zip tied them, and they held them against their will. And the Christopher Clay Cummins was only charged with shooting a gun in public. He wasn't charged for kidnapping these young men or anything,
Wow.
or even shooting at them. He was just charged for shooting at a gun in public. He wasn't.
This is outrageous. This towns like these. Okay, people that are listening, we definitely need you to tap into this. Anyone that is interested in giving any type of support to this cause, you definitely can make sure that you text 914-655-4993 and just text Antonio. Okay, we'll make sure that you get more information, or you can directly contact Plus. There's a number below, 888-806-6748. I'm not sure if Queen got disconnected or what, but absolutely ridiculous. All right, she made it back. Sorry you got disconnected there.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
It's okay. So tell everyone how we can support you and your family. I know I definitely want to put something together where we put a phone zap together where we can get some people to call about his medical care. I don't even know what to say. It's inexcusable for him to be going through that medically.
Yes. Um. Right now, we can ask that you call the sheriff department 662-843-7478, and
Say
just
it one more
call and
time.
ask for
Queen.
Sheriff Williams or ask for the warden, ma'am.
Say it one more time.
It's going to be 662. Let me make sure I got this correct. 662
Mm-hmm.
843. Oh gosh, where? Oh, I went way down too far.
I'll make sure I put it in the chat.
Yeah, 662-843-7478. Call as much as you can. Call as much as you can to tell them, hey, we need to see that Antonio Hollingsworth is getting the proper medical care that he needs. And we can call the sheriff, the Cleveland Police Department, 662-843-3611. Ask to speak to Sheriff Buster Bingham or Detective, what's his name? Or any detective, to make sure that we need an arrest made in his case, because he has been unlawfully arrested in this case while the assailants are still free.
Yeah, I was about to say that. So his arrest is the only arrest that had been made, even though he's the one. He's saying he was assaulted. Correct?
Yes, and I spoke with his lawyer on Friday, and his lawyer said that even though he pressed charges for aggravated assault, the
Mhm.
judge will only do simple assault because because he didn't receive any bodily injury. Well, if that's not bodily injury, I don't know what happened. That is the culture of Cleveland, Mississippi. And his lawyer told me, well, obviously he was in those people's place. I said, well, did you hear his side of the story? And he said, yes. I said, well, are you saying that you don't believe him? He said, ma'am, I did not say that. I said, well, you said obviously he was in those people's place. So
Right.
it's ridiculous that they all work together, and it's time for a change, and hoping that, we're so sad that Antonio had to go through this, but we're hoping that this can bring about a change for the better.
We're hoping so too, and we're definitely hoping that we can get the support of all those in social justice and activism, especially those that are interested in prison reform and abolition and things like that, to get on board here. I hate that this happened to your family member. I hate that this happens. I hate this happened to your family member. Um, and we're hoping that we can bound together and get some assistance to him. Is there anything that you would like to share before you go enjoy the rest of your day, the best that you can, knowing that this is going on? I can only imagine the worry and grief that comes with knowing your family member is hurt and not getting assistance.
Yeah, that's the rough part, but I do want to say that Antonio is so grateful for each and every person that has been with him throughout the first day of this. He wanted to be thankful for each and every person who believes his story. Like I said, we all have a past, and he has a past too. But he swear that he was not burglarizing those for a store because that's what he's charged with. And
Mm-hmm.
I believe him, and I stand on that, and I'm not going to change it, and I'm not going to waver. The proof will come out. The proof is in the pudding, and it will come out, because if they did it to three teenagers, why wouldn't they do it to him?
Right. And also in that, not only that, but we can see the climate of the town of Cleveland, Mississippi, with the racism and
Yes.
how doing these acts seem to cause no problems for those that are doing it. So I appreciate you for being a voice for your uncle, for standing up for him. I appreciate you being a voice for the people in Cleveland, Mississippi that might can't speak up, so we can bring some attention to it. That's how we get things done. We get all eyes on it. So I definitely hope that we can bring you some assistance. And I appreciate you very much, Sharita, for taking this time with us to let us know what's going on down there.
I'm grateful that you had us, and I'm grateful that you guys are sharing his story. I really appreciate it. You know, we do appreciate it because um there's so much fear in so many people because of what you can obviously see what's happened to Antonio. They're scared that they will be retaliated against. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm grateful to have allies on my team in this case. Like I'm so grateful that I'm grateful that people care, and I'm grateful that people wants to get his story out, because at the end of the day, when all the evidence come out and it shows exactly what we are telling everyone, hopefully people will be unafraid to stand up in the future.
Right, for sure. Thank you, Sharita.
You're welcome. Thank you.
You're
And
welcome.
God bless.
God bless you too, dear.
Yes, ma'am.
Mm-mm-mm. Absolutely ridiculous. Okay, I wanna remind everybody of something. First and foremost, we put the number down in the chat. Okay, 662-843-7478. That's the number that you can call to find out what's going on with his medical care. Bring alert to it. Remember, that's something that is proven to be effective, right? When we all tap in and we all get involved and we start making these calls, please be looking for a phone zap. All right, we're going to make sure that the National Plus Coalition, we are going to be putting out a phone zap so that y'all will have the phone number to call with a little script also about what to say um, in this case. And I want to remind everybody that's watching something that's very important, okay? Regardless of what is happening, as far as if you think that he's innocent, like he proclaims, or not, no one deserves to be treated this way. Remember, we're human beings, okay? We can't lose our humanity based off our personal opinions, okay? That's part of what we fight for, the rights for all, right? The rights of the citizens. Someone being in prison, in jail, injured, and they are not receiving medical assistance is inhumane. That's an inhumane thing. And that's something that we have to make sure that we stand up against, okay? Regardless of what you think might be going on. We need to be in this because it's inhumane. If they do it to one, they'll do it to some, and they'll do it to more. The prison system and jail systems, they get medical money and things like that. So I know it can be a case with, getting the proper care. And as you heard his niece say, he was denied this care. They said, do not call the ambulance for him. Why? She said his eye is turning green. He's having problems breathing. His eyes have shifted in his skull. This is how he was beat. Let me bring the picture up for y'all again so that y'all can see what they did to this man. I need y'all to look at his face. Let me try to make him bigger than me. Because y'all need to see. I want y'all to see this. She said he woke up and was having issues seeing out of his right eye. As you can see here, the right eye is the one that is the most swollen to the point that it's closed. Okay. She said it's green. Green is a sign of infection or something going on with yourself. Because most parts of our body, if we see something green going on with our body, we know that's an indicator that something is wrong, that something's going on with that. He's having issues breathing. And his family is getting no answers as to when he will be properly medically taken care of, when he'll be released, or anything. So please, I incline y'all to definitely make sure that y'all get involved. If you would like to know more about this, we can understand that. You can use the number below, 914-655-4993, and you can just text Antonio, okay? We'll make sure that we get you some information. Or you can reach out to Plus directly. You can even reach out to us by messenger. However you want to reach out. If you want to get involved, please make sure that you do. 888-806-6748. Or you can email us, okay? Info at thenationalpluscoalition.com. Well, we need all hands on deck with this, all right? This is going to be a shorter show because I wanted to just concentrate on this. Cleveland, Mississippi seems to have a history of racism a history of corruption, if you ask me, because when people break the law and they're not charged accountably, that's corruption, especially when it has to do with race and things like that. Always doing the wrong thing is something that we have to fight against when it comes to these government officials. So I need y'all to tap in, okay? I need y'all to tap into this. Remember, we have to have our eyes on situations like this. We have to police them up because they're not going to police themselves. They proved that time and time again that we got to get in a business. So we want to make sure that we get in this business and find out what's going on with Mr. Antonio Hollingsworth. He deserves better treatment than that. He doesn't deserve to be in the hospital. He doesn't deserve to be in prison hurting. I know he's in pain. I've had issues. I have issues with this area. I know he's in pain and he can't breathe. I can only imagine how terrified he is, not knowing what's going on with him. We got to get in this business, okay? I appreciate y'all very much. Remember, if you have any questions or concerns, please make sure that you reach out to us. If you haven't added us already, please make sure that you do add us, okay? You want to make sure you add this platform so you can be tapped in and in tune with all the different things that we have going on. We have Activism Across the Nation with me as your host, but we also have some other shows that I think that y'all would definitely want to check out. We also be having seminars and things like that. We do have a commercial. So let me put this commercial out before we go, and then we're going to be wrapping it up. All right, Brother Antonio Hollingsworth down there in Cleveland, Mississippi. I want to leave you with this image because it's important for you to see it. This man needs our assistance, okay? If you're just tuning in, I'm going to give you a brief recap. Antonio Hollingsworth down in Cleveland, Mississippi, says he was assaulted by some men there, some white men there. He was, a racial slur was used, and he ended up in jail. But he needs medical assistance. He has having problems seeing out of his eye. It's beginning to change colors. He's having difficulty breathing. And as to date, the facility has not given him proper medical care and has even denied him ambulance services to a facility that could assist him. We need activists. We're asking y'all to tap into this. There will be a phones app that'll be coming through the National Plus Coalition channels so that you can definitely tap in and we can start to make these calls. We're going to start making these calls tomorrow morning, bright and early on Monday. Good. Happy Monday. Okay, we're going to get in their business. Remember, we have to stick together when it comes to this type of thing. We have to make sure that we amplify our voices. And one way to amplify our voices is when we do things together. That's the importance of these phones apps, our email apps, things like that, boots on ground, to show that there's a presence in numbers. Okay, we want to definitely make sure that we lend support to Mr. Antonio Hollingsworth so he can get the medical assistance that he needs. Okay, remember, we have to, being humane matters. Okay, it definitely matters. I appreciate y'all for being here to hear Miss Sharita and the things that she had to say about her uncle and hopefully we can find some justice for that family and make sure that we support them. Be sure to add us. Okay, make sure you add me, of course, the J Rene. All right, TheJayrene. And you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook right under that. TheJayrene, the J Rene. All right. And you want to make sure that you tap in with the National Plus Coalition and Plus Productions. Make sure you add us so you can catch all the wonderful things that we be doing. Not only our shows, but we be having seminars. The Black Effect was the last seminar that we did. If you didn't see it, I need you to go ahead and check it out. You definitely want to check that out. I think you'll be highly impressed. And you can check out our other stuff as well, make sure that you tap in with us. If there's some corruption or wrongful convictions or things that's going on like that, please reach out to us so that we can give you assistance. That's what we do here. We know the importance of working together, and we'll assist you the best way that we can. And if we can't help you personally, we'll definitely lead you in the right direction. All right. Remember, for the advice for today, let's take care of each other. All right. You got to take care of yourself, but we got to take care of each other too. Make sure that you're reaching out to your comrades, to your brothers and sisters, to, those that fight beside you. Make sure we're reaching out to each other, checking on us, making sure we're doing well, reminding each other to have self-care and to be kind to each other. We got to be kind to each other. It's just a hard job. Everybody can't do it. So, give a little kindness and love to each other. Make sure that we're out here doing the right thing. I definitely appreciate y'all as always. Next week, unless something pressing comes up, we will not be having Plus News. I won't be here. I'm gonna take a little, take a little time for myself. That's self-care, right? Y'all be easy. Y'all stay great. And it's your girl, J Rene. Until next time, y'all have a good one. Peace.